In today's video, I'll be revealing the retirement statistics that are so shocking you wouldn't believe them if I didn't show you the actual data. These numbers expose the massive gap between retirement expectations and reality. Through analyzing the latest Federal Reserve data and retirement surveys, I've discovered some of the most unbelievable retirement statistics out there. And that's exactly why I'm making this video for you today, to show you the unbelievable retirement statistics that reveal the true state of American retirement readiness, to expose why even successful savers struggle with spending their money, and to reveal what these numbers really mean for your retirement planning. Let's get right into it. What if I told you that only 2.5% of Americans ever retire with over $1 million saved, and that most retirees, they don't even come close to that number? In fact, nearly half of Americans over the age of 55 have zero retirement savings, not even $1. Most people believe that if they invest smartly and save steadily, they'll eventually hit that $1 million mark. It's what you're told over and over again. But according to the latest Federal Reserve data, only 2.5% actually ever do it. Among retirees, people who've already left the workforce, that number is just a little bit better, 3.2%. What's even more concerning to me as a planner is that just over half of Americans even have a retirement account. And of those, fewer than 1 in 20 have reached that $1 million milestone. This completely contradicts what you see on social media, which is portfolios growing at 15%, endless compound interest success stories, and that retirement at 50 fantasies that everybody talks about. So why does all this matter? Because most Americans believe, and this is according to recent surveys, that you need at least $1.5 million to retire comfortably. The reality is, fewer than 1 in 30 Americans ever get there. This isn't a retirement planning problem. It's a national wake-up call. The millionaire stats are shocking to me, but the median savings reality that people are facing, it reveals an even more devastating retirement crisis that's among us. So let's talk about this middle of the curve, the median retiree, not the outliers. This same Federal Reserve data shows that the median retirement savings for households aged 65 to 74 is just $200,000. For those over the age of 75, it drops to $130,000. Now, the average might look a little better, around $609,000, but that is heavily skewed by wealthy outliers. The median is what retirees typically have, and half of them have even less than $200,000. And what does $200,000 actually get you in retirement? Well, if we use that 4% withdrawal rate, that's around $8,000 a year or $670 a month, and that's before taxes. Now think about that in the context of rising healthcare costs, housing, food, travel, not to mention inflation. Money doesn't go far. I remember a client who came to us with just over $250,000 several years ago. They were adamant they had enough to retire. I still hear their words till this day. It's $250,000, Adam. That should be plenty enough money for me to retire on. I'll just live off the interest every year. The stock market makes 8% after all, and I'll be just fine. Against our advice, they moved forward without a structured plan in retirement, and they decided not to work with us. And I would assume that 8 to 10 years later, after inflation outpacing their expectations, a volatile stock market, rising medical costs, they might be on the edge of running out of money in the next several years. That's a position that I never want you to find yourself in. So stay with me for some helpful tools to help you avoid this. Median savings reveal how unprepared most retirees really are. But once you dig deeper, the picture gets a lot clearer. Because retirement of wealth, it's not randomly distributed. It's concentrated, and for a specific reason. So why do some Americans build these 7-figure retirement accounts while most fall short? 3 main factors: income, education, and home ownership. Let's take a little deeper look. High-income households, they average over $769,000 in retirement savings. Middle-income households, $79,000 in savings. College grads, they have more than 3 times the savings of high school graduates. And homeowners, they hold more than 2.5 times the retirement savings of renters. These aren't random gaps. They're the result of decades of compounding advantages, such as better jobs, stronger benefits, and lower long-term expenses. But here's what matters most. Those advantages, they aren't permanent roadblocks. They're just variables. And with the right planning, they can be completely overcome. That's why having a personalized strategy built around your situation is so powerful. I've seen people start way behind and still get ahead financially, simply by following a consistent plan year after year after year. So now that you understand these shocking retirement stats, I want you to go to the description of the video below and fill out the questionnaire. After you do that, I'll personally send you a video analyzing your specific situation, and I'll show you how you can build your perfect retirement given your exact situation. Let's now turn to what's possible when you stay the course. So Fidelity reports that nearly 497,000 Americans are now 401k millionaires, and another 399,000 have crossed the $1 million mark in their IRAs, which is awesome. That's nearly 1 million people who've built serious wealth, not through windfalls or through market timing, but through consistency. It was all done this year. The real secret to their success is this. They contributed all the time for an average of 27 years or more, and they stayed invested during all of those years. They didn't let fear push them out of the market. They didn't chase the next hot stock and get burned and stay out of the market. They trusted the process. And guess what? It worked. They're now millionaires. Slow and steady wins the retirement race. When you stay invested, you ignore the noise, the market can reward your discipline. Systematic success is real. Even those who win the retirement savings game face one final challenge, and most people never see it coming. Here's something that most people don't expect. Even retirees who have saved enough often struggle the most at spending the money. I worked with a couple several years ago that they had over $1.2 million saved, and this was more than enough by any traditional standard to fund their lifestyle. But they were paralyzed by one big, massive fear: running out of money. Despite their success, they were really afraid to spend too much from their portfolio. They were always worried about market downturns, rising healthcare costs, and living longer than they thought. So even though the math worked inside of our planning process, their emotions were not in control whatsoever. This fear, it's not uncommon among retirees. It's the underspending paradox that I want to talk to you about now. You spend a lifetime of building wealth. Save, save, save is what you're constantly doing, only to feel anxious and nervous to spend that money. It's a big mindset shift. That's exactly why I walk these clients through my Red Zone retirement planning process. This is a framework that's designed to turn uncertainty into clarity for you inside of your retirement income plan. We started by covering their core retirement needs with guaranteed income sources, like Social Security, a little pension that she had, and an annuity that was tailored to fill that gap. That gave them peace of mind, knowing that the essentials were locked in, no matter what the stock market did. Then what we did is we structured some of the portfolio in a moderate fund designed to beat inflation, and the rest of their portfolio, it was geared to generate reliable dividend income for them, giving them additional flexible cash flow that didn't require touching their principal. This plan gave them the green light. They could safely spend more without risking their future, and they still had a clear path to leave a legacy for their children and for their grandchildren. What was the result? The anxiety completely disappeared. Their spending was now aligned with their values. They slept way better at night because they knew they were finally in control of their financial future. Planning, it just didn't solve this financial question for them. It gave them a healthier relationship with their money, and it gave them the confidence to actually enjoy the retirement that they worked so hard to earn. This spending hesitation that they had, it shows us just how complex retirement really is. And if it's true for millionaires, imagine the impact of misleading stats for everyone else, like the myth that $100,000 is enough to retire comfortably. You've probably heard this before. You can retire just fine with $100,000. That claim is everywhere. I see it all the time, but here's the truth. It's dangerously oversimplified. That number comes from survey data where people felt okay in retirement with modest savings. But feeling okay doesn't mean you're financially secure. Let's break it down. $100,000 might give you around $750 a month in income, and that's probably double what we would suggest that you take out. That's not near enough money to cover your medical surprises, travel costs, housing costs, or rising inflation over time. So unless you have strong Social Security, no debt, and very, very low living expenses, that number simply doesn't hold up. And yet, many headlines run with it, creating a false sense of security for many people. The reality is that retirement requires more than just a number. It requires a plan. So now that you've seen these unbelievable stats, let's take a look at how you can implement this advice in your retirement plan. So how do you move forward from here? How do you take all of these numbers, fears, and facts and turn them into something that actually works for you? First off, you stop comparing yourself to averages and start building a plan that's tailored to your specific life. That's what the Red Zone retirement planning process is built for. This is a 4-part framework that's designed to give you clarity and control of your individual situation. So let me quickly walk you through this. Part 1 is clarifying your vision. What does your retirement actually look like for you? It's going to be different from your neighbors, from your siblings. What do you want to get out of your retirement? What are your values and how do you want to spend your time? The second part is to know your numbers. What do you actually need as far as income and asset-wise to support this vision of your retirement? In our planning process, we get your guaranteed needs, which is your food, your shelter, your clothing, your insurance cost, taxes. We get your needs covered by fixed income sources, like Social Securities, pensions, annuity income, maybe it's rental income or dividend income. So we get your needs covered by fixed income sources, and then we fund your wants from different portfolios that we establish for you in those retirement planning years. And we usually structure 3 different accounts for you to accomplish these goals for your go-go years, your slow-go years, and your no-go years. And then the third part is to bridge the gap. What risks do you have and what shortfalls are holding up your current plan for your retirement? Do you need to work longer? Do you need to save more? Do you need to tamper down your expectations? Are taxes affecting you? Do you have IRMAA penalties? There is a lot that goes into this, including bulletproofing your plan from inflation risk, long-term care risk, and healthcare risk. And then the fourth step is to take action. Don't just create the plan, take action on it. So what are the next right steps for you in your situation to get you from where you are today to that retirement that you've always dreamed of? This isn't guesswork. It's a system that brings your retirement goals into focus, and it turns anxiety into strategy. So whether you're 5 years out from retirement or already retired, this framework, it meets you right where you are today. So now that you understand these unbelievable stats and the real gap between expectations and reality, it's time to start planning from a place of truth. And if you want help creating a strategy that beats the odds and it gives you actual confidence in your retirement plan, fill out the questionnaire in the description below and I'll send you a personalized video walking you through your numbers, your goals, and how you can build a retirement plan that's right for you. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.